Where we left off last time. Okay. Last time, Harleen had gone to stake out Izek at the guardhouse, and you guys went for dinner at the Burgomaster's. During dinner at the Burgomaster's, it became clear that the Burgomaster's wife, Lydia, was really stressed about her husband, and that this was terrible, and that you needed to help her, and all the rest of it. Please come back at midnight. She left the back door open for you. You stealthed around a bit. You befriended the guard dogs and sent them off on a wild goose chase out the window. You stealthed around a bit. She was in bed with her husband. You came across a very strange mirror, and through the mirror, I think Malachi saw a bed chamber. Yeah, and Vash, that's right. Saw a bed chamber, 4-poster bed with an S and a Z engraved in the bed head. Really super posh stone walls, with a young woman lying asleep on the bed. And Etherdwe then went and assassinated the Burgomaster, an assassin, critical hit of like 58 hit points. So he's a bit dead. The wife was like, you have to kill him and help our son. So, and then she's gone off somewhere. You found Udo, who was tied up in manacles, beaten nearly to death, and who had been tortured. And you found some bones of indeterminate age that in that room. So there's clearly like this private torture chamber, and apparently he had made the capital crime of not being, being enthusiastic enough about festivals and spreading dissent.
Did we ever find out if those bones belong to the professor guy? Did we do anything?
You can do what you want with them as you're heading out of the house. Cool. We can retcon that. So you left them there and then carried on. You found Izek's bedroom, which was completely full, floor to ceiling, all around the walls, with wooden dolls that look exactly like Harleen, and clearly started many, many years ago with dolls that look like a young girl, all the way up until most recent. And you can see them having changing hairstyles and acquiring scars and tattoos and things like that. And they become much more detailed and more intricate. And the last number have got marionette puppet strings, like the puppets that he was playing with outside the shop. There was nothing else in that room in terms of child toys, anything else that he might have bought from Blinsky's, just dolls of Harleen.
It's clear it's an obsession with Harleen.
There's something to do with Harleen. As opposed to generally attracting children by buying stuff from the creepy toy maker. Okay. You then went up into the attic where you found Victor, the son of the Baron, who... Well, you can describe him. Harleen wasn't there. He was 16, bit angsty, bit emo. Basically...
I've got it. Creepy, emo, necromancer.
Yeah. Basically teaching himself wizardry out of a book, wearing a very long purple robe and looking like...
No problem experimenting on people to do so.
Wizardy. So there were a whole load of skeletal cats.
You tried to do teleport a bunch of times by just evaporating just stuff in the house.
Sounds like he needs to die.
And then
he had like a woman that was promised to be his wife that he tested like all these different psychic damage spells on to try it.
This kid needs to die.
So completely broke her.
So she's broken. I think she's a cat. was the last thing, and he was very pissed off because she stopped coming to visit, and she was a bit weak, and now he needs to find somebody else. He did a little bit of vision stuff, so Malachi thought that he was going to hell for a while. Who else got?
Yeah, that's the other. That's the other reason.
I think it was just Malachi.
It
was Zephyr.
Zephyr as well.
Zephyr also had horrible hallucinations of generalized badness. And currently the child is entwined in vines like a giant burrito, levitated, floating in the air, wrapped up in vines, and so effectively gagged and bound, being floated through the air, with Malachi holding on to a vine like a giant burrito hot air balloon. And they are about to leave the mansion. So we've already rolled a luck check, which is going to say that you can get back to the Blue Water Inn without encountering any patrols of guards. Is there anything you'd like to do before you leave the house?
I will grab up those bones with the intent to bring them to the historian and
Yep.
say, hey, are these your bones?
Are these your bones? Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Do you want to, burn this place to the ground? I don't know. I thought we should do something to hide evidence. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with buildings.
Did you leave any evidence?
No.
Apart from a decapitated burgomaster in bed.
No.
Oh, that's a good call.
Ate the burgomaster.
Oh,
that's
you
why
did.
What?
You did eat the burgomaster.
So one of the creatures that
Eating
you
like a
contained was a
cheeseburger,
giant
mate.
toad, which
Oh, yeah,
dissolves
yeah.
a corpse. So I used a wild shape and we just
Yeah.
got rid of the burgomaster.
I do have
Yeah,
2 third level spells, so I could fight otherwise.
Yeah, do you feel like going to draw more attention to it?
I mean, the burgomaster's gone. There's a ceiling to how much attention you can get.
If I had a delayed flight, that'd be bomb.
Like tomorrow
Fucking boom, and then
That would be a bomb.
and then
tomorrow
just like-
morning, the guard's gonna wake up and see the burgomaster is gone, the house is a mess, and his family is missing.
We could write a suicide note.
That's not a bad idea.
Do you recognise his name?
Where's Zephyr? Can we get Zephyr? Because Zephyr has a calligraphy kit or something like that.
Yep.
Can we get Zephyr to make that check? Because they'll most likely do a lot better than us.
Yes.
Assuming Zephyr doesn't just pop from existence. I think it's a calligraphy kit with Zephyr's monk tool. It might have been a map making set.
I'll have a look.
Or
I
like,
think
I'm
it's
running
map
away
making.
till because I have lost faith.
Have you got
in the
right? Have you got Zephyr's character up?
No, I just remembered stuff.
He's got cartography, hasn't he? It's alright. I can pull it up.
Otherwise, Bard, how's your forgery skills?
I don't think I have proficiency in that. No, I don't.
Wouldn't Rourke have something to do with forgery?
I can't read or write.
A small problem.
If I can't read, I'm not going to be able to write, am I? I didn't exactly go
You
to
didn't go to
school.
You went to the school of hard knocks.
You're an educated type.
I am. Yeah.
You're a person of letters.
What kind of
But forgery seems wrong.
what kind of role would
Says
forgery
the man with a child as a balloon.
I mean,
Barely a
I'm not
child.
there, so I don't know.
It's a necromancer.
All right, necromancer balloon.
Alright, it's got to be. Alright, if you won't do it, it's got to be Vash that fakes the note. I don't think Queen's confident with writing.
If I was there, I
Okay.
probably could.
No, I'm going to say,
But I'm not there.
No, he's got-
I can't reanimate it.
So he's actually got calligrapher's supplies.
I knew it. Yeah. Does that do anything mechanically? Would that make it easier to forge a signature or something?
I don't know.
No, I'll do it.
I think there's actually a forgery kit.
Have some.
I think there is a forgery kit. But
What's the
The
test?
role. Yeah, what's the role that he needs to do? Deception?
Would it be intelligence?
I feel like deception.
So I'd obviously find some papers or bills, something that he signed, and try.
I mean, there's like a little library on that first floor that you went into, and there's some books and some bits and pieces in there. So there's plenty of
There's plenty of his handwriting.
Yeah. yeah.
So what would I test?
Have you got? You've not got proficiency in anything. Have you got proficiency in anything useful? I don't think so. Is the answer.
Can I make something?
No.
Oh, No,
You appear to have no tool proficiencies, which is somewhat strange.
I think
Proficiency in religion,
the
perception,
background should pick
investigation,
it.
insight.
It's
I've
usually
only
what gives you
got
that.
guys and these tools.
Okay, so you can roll dexterity, just a straight. Straight dexterity.
In that case, Vash, do you want to do it?
I can do it. I've got pretty good dex.
You can all have a go at it.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's do
Well,
that.
yeah, we'll just all write our own.
And-
See which one looks the
there.
best.
And this is guidable,
Cool.
isn't it? Because
have
it's a
some
skill
guidance.
check, should you wish to be guided.
So it's a 14, 15 to me.
Okay?
That's all right. Vash, have a go at a dex check with guidance.
Oh, guidance?
Yep.
Oh, okay, that makes it a 21.
Okay. So you've got 2 suicide notes. You've got 2 suicide notes. You're both pretty happy with your suicide notes, so you've now got 2 suicide notes. You're looking at them, you're pretty happy. The slopiness of the G's and the cursive S all line up beautifully. What are you writing? What have you written in your suicide note?
I have lost faith in these festivals.
Mm.
I'm worried that it's not actually a suicide. It's like I'm leaving. I have, so I've lost faith in the festival. I'm concerned about the return of Strahd. I've decided to leave while I'm good with my family. Goodbye, all the best.
What are we doing?
Go ahead with the festival without
What's happening to the kid?
Signed
He can't be
documents.
leaving with his family if the kid's still there.
Well, the kid will be dead.
It's a suicide
While this is
Vash, Vash, what would you have written in your suicide slash?
leaving.
To be honest, that was pretty much exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. Alright.
while that's happening, Quinny's going to go to the blood-stained bed and just start cutting up sheets and burning them, so there's not a
I'll
massive
just
pile
use
of blood if this
representation.
person's meant to have left.
I'll just use pressure discussion for
All right, that works.
I can clean stuff.
Okay, so you're prestidigitating.
I'm going to burn them anyway.
Okay. Burning the bed sheets.
Burning the bed sheets.
Okay. So we're burning the bed sheets. We've left I'm leaving. Strahd's coming back. Festival without me. I've lost all my faith in the world. Okay. We've got the bones.
We also only need one of those notes. Like, we're not leaving both of those notes.
Okay. That's fine.
Who will be decided who's got better handwriting?
Well, yours would probably match better with a 21, but you can. I would assume you've left a note.
Cool. Quinny chucks the
You're
other note in
comfortable-
with the bed sheets.
You're comfortable with the forgery. Okay, done an excellent job here. Nothing to see here at all.
Have you taken any of the dolls
Take
with
this
you?
kid. Well, I'm taking the kid. You guys do it.
Well, I'm not there.
Quinny's going to
Off
go...
the church
You're
with
off?
the kid.
Okay.
Quinny's
Alright.
gonna stay behind and I want to go to the clothing drawers and just pull out a couple of outfits, stick them in a bag. I want to grab any valuables, stick them in a bag.
Okay.
And then
Make it look like they're left in a rush.
precisely make it look like they've left.
Okay.
Grab stuff that I feel is important. Maybe get F3 to help me out with that. You feel like you can find valuables better than I can.
Yeah.
Roll investigation.
Guidance. Can I guidance and a help action? Does that work?
Yes.
Wonderful.
What does that mean?
You have advantage and you add a D4.
Oh, actually, no, you can't because you can't do the help action
Cool.
and guidance, which is also an action. So you can pick one or the other.
It's going to be funny when all this is irrelevant.
Vash is giving the help action.
There we go.
Roll
Advantage and a D4. Two dice to pick either one, and add a D4 to it. Versus
Investigation with advantage, and then add D4.
Well, I've got, it's a 22 anyway. That's without adding the D4.
Add the D4. Getting close to the high number.
25.
Okay. So with a 25, you managed to get 2 or 3 really quite nice, high quality sort of suits of tunic, trousers, cloak. You find his mayoral chains of office, which look like they're made out of gold with some gems in those. Nothing spell component level of gem, but valuable. You find 50 gold pieces. You find... you find 50 gold pieces. you there's a couple of quite nice, expensive looking sort of dresses.
Quinny, my friend.
Yes.
Look, 20 gold pieces. I
Oh.
found them for you.
Thank you so
And
kindly.
Look at this gold narrow chain that's so unique that I would have no chance of selling it in this town.
I was going to say, I think we leave
But it's
that.
all yours.
I don't know. Let's dispose of that somehow.
And these clothes that are way too big for me. So they're all yours.
So we haven't gotten any clues on where the body of this oldest dead dude is.
So you found a whole collection of bones that Queenie medicine checked and determined were there were
that's
some
fine. Yeah,
very
so that
old.
could be- okay.
Yeah.
So are we gonna burn them?
No, he's got those
We weren't
bones.
sure to take them
Yeah.
or not,
To-
because especially now that we're trying to make him look at the mayor's right way, it would be a weird thing for him to take. And we don't want this guy to know we're on to it. Was I think Vash had that idea.
Of not
I should
taking
take those
anything.
ones because I'm going to church. Anyway.
Yeah, you want to take those bones? Here,
Yeah.
I've got a bag full of bones.
Like the bones,
And the
bones
kid.
in one hand,
Kid in the
balloon
other.
kid in the other.
Oh my god.
Okay. So
I'm just
Having-
getting drunk at the cabin.
Should I
Having-
do a stealth check?
Yeah.
so
You've got plus 10.
we've already determined that you managed to get all the way back to the Blue Water Inn. The church is past the Blue Water Inn, without running into any guards or patrols or people. When you get near the Blue Water Inn, you see Harleen heading back to the Blue Water Inn from the where she's been scouting out the guard tower and things like that. So you coming back to the Blue Water Inn, see that this lot's skulking down the road with a balloon child, having quiet discussions about stuff.
We're going to the church.
To the church.
Wonderful. I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to home base.
Okay.
Is anyone going with Malachi?
I'm not. Anyone
So
want to go with Malachi?
Zephyr and
I don't
Quinny
need
have
no
gone
leash.
for a long rest.
Oh, Harley wouldn't give you a
Take a
lead.
guidance with you. Actually, I've
if
got
you
a second
told Harley
level.
what that kid did, she would probably help you kill him.
I've got a second.
That's the danger. I don't want her stealing my kill.
I've got a stealth on that. Would you like enhance ability? Get advantage on a
Enhance
check of your choice.
She may be a criminal, but she's not that bad.
Charisma?
Charisma. I want to next the
Whatever skill you want, you can have advantage on it for next hour. I've got one spell slot left.
I will go with Malachi.
Yeah, let's go.
Vash, are
Yeah, let's go charisma.
Are you going to the Blue Water Inn or are you heading to the church?
Gives you advantage.
I'm going to the Blue Water Inn. I'm completely expecting Malachi to do what he needs to do.
Okay, so Zephyr, Quinny,
I'm going with you.
Vash, Etherdwe, are you retiring for the evening or are you going to the church?
Yeah, I'll see for the church.
Okay, so fall back to the church. So we'll resolve the rest of this evening. Malachi and Harleen heading to the church.
So obviously, I'll explain to Holly what I just explained to you. Anyway.
Why there's a
On
child
the way,
like a burrito balloon.
Yeah.
and Holly's like, "Okay, well, I'll come with you." I'm like, you don't have to. You can go to the Blue Water Inn. I can take care of this.
So
Harley needs to get all this dull shit off of her mind right now.
so
but this is a tad personal from what you put in my mind. So
So-
if I do decide to kill him,
So the spell book that he had was sort of half spell book, half diary, and there was a lot of stuff about. So this girl that they were trying to set him up with, Stella Watcher, essentially young, bit naive, tried to be really nice and do what she was supposed to do, and he basically made her really frightened and then modified her memory, but wasn't desperately good at that. So she knew she was really frightened but couldn't remember why. So he did that several times and then started control personing her, just to basically keep her quiet and out of the way. So he just turned her into a cat. So she just sat on the floor meowing and then basically would follow her out as she was walking home and make her have horrible visions of badness and then modify her memory so she couldn't work out why she was so scared. Everybody thought she was a bit weak and weary and having fits and turns. And then one day she woke up and is meowing and basically spends most of her time believing she's a cat. So her mum doesn't let her out anymore. And that's the sort of, and he's really cross about that because he was learning lots, and now he's got to, find somebody else to practice on. Is what they got out of the spell book. Okay, to the church. The church is all locked up. There is this beautiful radiant glow coming out of the windows. Because you hallowed the church.
Does he react at all to us walking into the hologram?
No.
Cool. Well, we'll wander into...
Is he technically?
I'll knock on the door
ground
because you said it's locked up.
Yes, he is, and no, he doesn't really.
I deeply hope you can't get around it just by levitating. We're all fucked.
So
we are all dead.
I'll knock on the door.
Okay. You hear shuffling on the inside. It is like sort of 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
What's that like?
Yeah, well, you were raiding the house at midnight.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, you coming
Yeah, you can't like wander into the inn with the kid.
So, just stay on the roof.
Are you sure?
We're gonna have to take a nap.
Okay, so there's some shuffling. Wait, okay, Father, the door opens and you can see Father Lucian sort of looking around, looking a little sort of, in a long nightgown and sort of looking around the crack of the door.
Father Lucian, I apologise for interrupting this hour, but this is rather urgent and we require your help.
Of course, and of course, Father. And he opens the door, and as he opens the door, and he looks up and sees a giant floating burrito of sort of vine entwined person. He sort of looks at you and goes, "Oh, come in, come in," and sort of. Walks in. As he walks down the corridor, he sort of shuts the door to what you know is his study. As he walks down the corridor, down the nave of the church towards the church. Okay.
Carrying the kid with me.
Yep.
Right. Because it wasn't me that cast the spell, I can't really dispel it easily.
Are those the vines?
Not the vine defines the bullying thing.
Levitation.
Well, those will both drop when Vash and Quinny go to sleep. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I think they would.
I'll start chatting to Father and then while I wait for that to drop.
I gave enhanced ability just before I left, so
Yep.
I'm staying awake for the next 16 minutes to hold concentration on that.
Okay.
So the vines would have dropped then.
They'd have
So
dropped when
Father
you.
Lucian.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you recognise him yet, but this is on the...
So as the vines drop, Father Lucian sort of takes a step back and goes, "Victor," and Victor is the vines have dropped, and he's dropped. So Victor's now on the ground, and he is looking to get out of here.
Yeah.
Uncle, these people, they came to our house, and they took me from our house. I was at home in my room. What's that?
The kid doesn't know.
Oh,
about
yeah.
the
Alright, so... Well, Harlene, can you lock the door?
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that this kid doesn't get out.
Mm-hmm. I will stand guard at the door.
Thank you. So, Father Lucian, we went to visit the Burgomaster's house, and we discovered some very unsettling things. One of which we found when we went up to the top floor to visit this young man, who we discovered to have been doing some very dark experiments on other human beings. Very immoral, ungodly things.
And you can see Father Lucian just sort of looking at Victor and go, "Victor, is this true? Is this tell me this is not the case, Victor. You've always been such a studious young man. Your mother tells me that you study all the time."
He does study. So, I would like your help, Father Lucian, on finding something. Maybe if we pray together, we can discover what the true motives are of this child, the young man.
Well,
I want to find out if he is possessed or influenced by an outside force, or if these horrific things he has done are of his own volition.
Well, we should absolutely strive to find out the truth. That is most important. Yes, I will help you discern the truth.
So, do you have any spells that can help us discover this?
I can sometimes make an area in which it is very difficult to you can remain silent, but you cannot lie whilst within it.
Right. That would help.
Victor, sit down. Stop pacing. Sit down. We'll get this cleared up immediately. And he casts Zone of Truth.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a way of telling if there's... Oh, we already did the detect magic shit. Do you have a way of detecting evil or goodness coming from it?
I feel no evil in the sense of a demonic possession or such a like. I do not feel that from him.
Okay, good to know. Well, let's begin our questioning of this child. Young man, what started you on this journey?
I am gonna leave this shithole of a fucking town. I have no idea what your problem is. Have you seen this place? My dad's a complete bastard, and the Father Lucian's like, Victor, don't say such things about your parents. Oh, shut up, Uncle. He's evil. He beats. Yeah, it's his mother's brother. My dad, he's a horrible man.
Thaumaturgy and just bellows, silence!
Oh, he just can't win. He tells me to tell him stuff, and then tells
I
me to
will
shut
ask the
up.
questions and you will answer them. I do not want any more information than that.
Just like all the bloody grown-ups.
Were you told or guided by any other outside forces?
Have you found any other outside forces around here who'd be smart enough to, do what I've done? Have you seen anything like that around here?
Yeah, your person that you can communicate through the mirror downstairs.
What mirror?
You mentioned it earlier. The mirror.
No, I mentioned
Your mum.
it.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, Mum.
He said his mum talked to him. Yeah.
Oh, his mum talked to the mirror.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything else
He didn't
about
know
the mirror.
anything.
No.
So, have you never looked on the other side of the mirror?
It's in my mum's dressing room. What kind of man do you take me for?
So why are you so interested in doing all this dark?
It's not so much dark as learning.
Just so you can get out of here.
Wouldn't you want to get out of here?
Yes, but not at the expense of innocent lives.
Well, they're not trying to get out of here. They're just like servants, aren't they? And, you never learn anything unless you work hard. That's what my mum always said. That's what you said too, isn't it, Father Lucian?
He is the reason for the disappearance of this servant.
Yes. What do you think, Father Lucian? What should we do?
Well, he's but a boy. I'm clearly.
Barely, he is a very young man.
Clearly.
He's old enough to marry.
and many a fool.
Back in these days, 16.
Yep, yeah. Many fool has been trapped that way, as I'm sure you're aware, Father. He's he's misguided to be sure, but I am unclear whether that is irredeemable in the eyes of the Morning Lord. And while this is going on, you hear the door close in the sort of creak open and close in the corridor behind you. You would see, because you're at the doors, a blonde-haired woman come out of what you know from when you've been to the church before, Father Lucian's study.
Okay.
And she's got sort of tear-stained cheeks, and she's sort of wringing her hands a bit.
So you see, rather.
I see. Yeah. I would go. Shh. There's someone here. And I'll look at him. I would know
Father
her.
Lucian?
I would know her as
Well,
his ward.
So you wouldn't know. You've not seen her before. You've not seen her before.
Father Lucian.
She seems
Someone
distressed.
else. Yeah.
My sister.
Oh,
My sister. She came distressed. Maybe an hour ago, maybe less. She came asking if she could stay here.
Are you aware your sister has been communicating with Strahd?
Yeah, she wouldn't do that. No, not. No. You must be mistaken. Of course not. No, not in at all. Would I ever question your authority or holiness? But my sister, she takes part in the festivals to protect Malachi.
Because that's what I was about to say.
On
the kid. Before.
So on the
before you
kid,
went that, I was
everything,
back
the kid's in a zone of truth.
there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Kids on the
So the
Yes,
kid's
it
in a
does.
zone of truth. So everything he says is true,
I missed that bit.
unless he chooses not to. So Father Lucian's cast a zone of truth. So the kid's in a zone of truth. She isn't. She's just standing on a corridor watching what's going on down at the far end of the church, sort of wringing her hands and looking distressed.
would Malachi as a cleric know how Zone of Truth works?
I think Malachi's got the ability to cast it if he actually
Yeah, I do. I just
took a rest.
Cool.
So,
If the,
So he
the
can choose
priest-
not to answer.
What I was going to say is that the priest could have let the kid pass the saving throw and then not told you, and then the kid could heal.
I don't think the kid is lying. I think he's pretty straightforward.
Well, I mean, I rolled a nat 20 for the insight check.
So insight check, the kid's telling the truth. 100% is proud of what he's achieved.
Terrifying.
I'll let you know that. He is telling the truth.
So whether or not he's under the zone of truth, or whether or not there was some hocus pocus from, you also get on a nat 20 of what's going on. Kid's telling the truth, and Father Lucian seems worried for his sister, but way more scared of Malachi than anything else that's going on. So you don't think from that as an insight that he'd have faked his own of truth, for example. He's way more scared of Malachi than anything else.
I wouldn't tell Malachi that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll proceed to. I won't waste my time
Yep.
reiterating, but I'll proceed to explain to Father Malachi all the things I learned in the book, and from him the things that he's done to the woman and all the stuff.
While they're doing that, can I go speak to the woman?
Yeah. As Malachi's explaining this, there's just tears rolling down Lydia Velakovich's face. Just absolutely, yeah.
I know she's there yet.
Absolutely.
I would have said there's a blonde woman outside.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a blonde woman.
Oh no, yeah, that's right. He said she's there. Yeah.
Roll a history check. You don't know anything really more than you know from the storyline so far about who she would be or anything like that. So she's just like, he just wants to escape his father. I had no idea. I had no idea he had gone so wrong. I had no idea. But I had no idea. I was too late. I just wanted to save him from his father, is what she's saying to you. Father Lucian is like, well, well, you're, she is my. You all right?
Yeah.
She's my sister. I had no idea. Lydia, have you been in communication with Strahd through and again she's just sobbing.
Forget about Lydia. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
You talk to Lydia. Make sure she doesn't go anywhere. Okay.
No, she
Father
escaped.
Lucian.
She wasn't there.
No, she was the one who asked us for help.
What's the kid's name again?
Victor.
Victor is clearly admitted to some awful things. Awful things that cannot go unpunished under the church law. Now, I prescribe to the eye for an eye version of things. But currently, I do not have the energy nor the prepared knowledge for a psychic attack at the level that he has granted other people. So, I give you a choice, Father Lucian. If you have some kind of spell, some kind of knowledge of a way to psychically harm this child to your man,
Right.
in a way that makes that equals the psychic damage that he not only put upon the young woman that he was supposed to be taking care of and loving, but myself and my teammate. If you can do that, we can spare his life. Otherwise, I will be taking it on the other level, which is on the necromantic level, which is what he's so vehemently gets into. And is a big fan of. I will show him the meaning of necromancy.
Must know the Church of the Morning Lord is like he was running for Republic of the
Old school Catholic church.
I was going to say, just
Yeah.
like the old school.
That's basically what it
The
was.
rhyme still runs under the eye for the eye.
Yeah.
I do not tend to use my holy knowledge to prepare spells other than of healing and caring potentially around, ensuring that those coming to confession are truthful. But I don't prepare channeling my
Victor.
holy energy into
Okay, enough.
harming
Okay,
people.
I get you. Victor, do you have anything to say for your crimes?
What? Crimes?
Yeah,
Which
crimes.
particular crimes do you think I've committed?
You severely harmed many people, including myself.
You look fine to me. Were you?
Under the surface, I'm not. Otherwise,
And
you
he-
might be in better shape.
I feel like an intimidation check right there.
He.
Yeah, I will do
You
it.
have it.
Okay.
I do have advantage. That's plus. Oh, advantage. Yeah.
'Cause he's got charisma.
17.
Ooh, intimidated to fuck with a 3. So
But just for
he laughs. He laughs in a very trying to be cocky, but starting to get a little bit nervous about what. So he's still got that cocky teenage shit, but it's starting to lose the weight behind it. In terms of he's like, you couldn't even take one small vision. Even Stella managed to last for weeks. You're damaged on 1.
Well, Lucian, let's begin a prayer of last
Jesus.
At this point, Lydia sort of goes to start down the name of the church, going, Victor, that's my son.
I would hold her back. And I would actually walk her down away from the room.
So walking back down towards the sort of alcove at the front of the church by the door,
No.
So,
or
like,
towards them.
It's like kind of.
Like, just
I
further
guess if
in,
you got like,
away from the room, but further into the
popes
church, so
and-
she's less likely to
and
like.
like bishops,
Okay.
kind of like cardinal-ish, but like
I
they
have
go
questions.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I'm probably like I don't know between like an archbishop and a bishop sort of
You
thing.
work directly for the cardinals.
Yeah, you're at the top of your. So
But I'm
Malachi's
like a warrior sort of.
Malachi's an abrogator. His role is to go around making sure all the churches on the Morning Lord are
Okay, what I should
appropriately faithful. So he's like chief inquisitor who's basically he could put Father Lucian to death if he doesn't think he's doing a good enough job. So from a priest perspective, Father Lucian's absolutely shit scared of him.
Did you have like a title? Like,
Yeah, he's
are you
chief
like-
abrogator of the
what-
Church
what
of the
are
Morning
you-
Lord, Herald of the Dawn
Is it
Slayers.
like Father Malachi, Bishop Malachi?
He'd be Father Malachi,
That'd be fine.
chief abrogator of the Herald of the Dawn Slayers.
Okay.
Priestly order.
it's very, very.
I was just being curious about it. Anyway.
In terms of PIM titles, that's the current wax seal of Father
Alright,
Malachi. Okay.
Better,
So you've got Lydia. So Lydia's sort of alternating between sort of almost keening. She's sort of fallen to her knees and is just sort of sobbing.
I would,
You don't think she's actually going to intervene. You don't think she's got that kind of strength.
I would actually like to turn to her and say, "You might have a chance of saving your son if you tell us about the
She's got no
mirror in
chance.
your dressing room." No, I know that.
I'm not there.
Well, I'm saying a prayer. I can't be bothered looking it up because
No,
I'm in the middle of it now. So like I'm going to say a prayer of like
I'm
Morning
taking her
Lord,
away from the room
etc.,
to try and
etc.
dampen that noise. So
I was going to give him a flip of the coin, but not now. So,
to ask her
Okay.
about the mirror
Okay.
in her dressing room that these guys have told me about.
Okay. The mirror was a gift from my friend Mrs. Watcher when she started to suggest Stella as a suitor for my son. She came round and we had dinner and things, and she bought gifts. This beautiful mirror was one of those gifts. Insight,
Yeah, 17 for insight.
telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
Yeah.
And
I'll
you
walk
told
up
me
to
that you could see another bedroom through that mirror, right? Yeah. So I would then question her. Okay, so whose bedroom is it?
I genuinely don't know. That I sometimes see when I'm looking at. Sometimes I just see
Actually,
myself.
I don't know if I would have told you anything. I don't think I would have told you anything about the Strata because that like kind of that like
I don't
psychic
even know
fucked
if
me up a
we-
little bit,
Yeah, I don't know.
and
if
I like I freaked out a bit from it. I'm pretty sure you would. Like,
Okay.
thing. So
So if you've asked about the mirror because he's been asking about the mirror,
I've said it.
that's what she
That's
said
what
to
you
you.
know.
Okay.
I said it in front of Father Lucian.
Yeah.
But I think
So
that's
she
all
said that the mirror was a gift from Mrs. Watcher when Mrs. Watcher was basically trying to set up a sort of power relationship. They're the other big power family in Wallachia. Power relationship between her daughter Stella and Victor, the Baron's son.
I'll walk up to Victor and
Mhm.
say, since you like this so much, you can dive into it. I'll place my hand on his forehead and I'll place the level 3 inflict wounds. And that will be a 17 hit.
It hits.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that will be 5 to 10.
How many D10?
5.
Do you want some D10?
Once the D10 is done.
Oh, you say you've opted to just inflict wounds on him?
Inflict wounds, yeah.
Okay.
There's 3.
How many BB?
5.
Okay.
So did I hear that right? Malachi just walked up another
11.
Yeah,
16,
on Victor.
Plus 9 is 28. That's no questions.
Well, his mum's there. And his uncle.
That seems really low.
Let's hope his uncle's still terrified of Malachi.
5d10.
Like a 5d10
So we're currently rolling 5d10.
So, no, so I say 28.
So,
That's a lot of damage.
Especially if he's just a regular
I would be trying to comfort the mother, but saying, unfortunately, your son does have to pay for the crimes he has committed against him.
But there must be another way. There must be another way.
I have no power with the, and then I would say his title.
Cabaret?
Yada yada of the yada yadas.
I
Yeah.
have no power to stop him. He's above any of us here. And I would just try and
Okay.
console her.
How much damage have you done?
28.
Okay. He is visibly hurt,
Oh, he's not there.
but he is not down.
Ooh.
Surely that's the morning rule suggesting us.
I don't think so.
You can hurt for that all you want, but
So I place my hand on him.
Mm-hmm.
Necrotic damage goes through his forehead and all the way down his neck,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just flinches and looks at me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would back off a bit, shit.
He flinches and looks at you and sort of holds something by his side and starts to mutter under his breath.
Do they observe? Is it daytime still?
No,
No,
it's
it's
2
still
a.m.
to 2 a.m.
Okay.
Pauline,
Is it
I need your
moonlight?
help.
Is there moonlight or candlelight or anything like that?
Where they are, the church is lit inside.
Does this kid have a shadow?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was that?
You don't?
We've done it.
Does the kid have a shadow?
I mean, the wasp's been
What are you trying to
communicating
say?
with Strahd. Is he the son of
He
Strahd?
can't be a vampire because it's consecrated ground.
That is true.
That's why I said did anything happen when I walked onto the ground.
I
So
think he's just a necromancer.
Added immediately.
And that.
Run back.
So
I don't want to
as
do a
you're
fireball in the church. So
as you're standing
I
there,
don't
You
know
don't know one of those.
what I can, yeah. I have to touch him, but yeah.
and he
I
starts
think
to
I'll just do it again.
he vanishes.
He vanishes.
He teleported. I wonder if he made it out.
Oh, I finally fucking figured out how to do it.
Or
Or is he
stayed-
just
or
gone
stayed
invisible?
inside.
He could just go invisible.
Did he there? Is there a role we can?
So you can't currently see him.
Is there a role we can do?
He may be invisible.
Would that be a perception to
It's got
see?
daylight. I don't think that's going to do it.
So you won't. So you won't. You wouldn't. From where you are, you've just seen him vanish.
It's a perfect spot.
Hmm?
Oh, I thought
I
you said.
did.
Oh, right. I must have.
No, I'm
If
purified.
I am your voice.
Although I will be taking some levels
Okay.
So he disappeared.
Yep.
Swashbuckler.
You can roll perception if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that. That will be a 7.
You do not get a sense of where he is.
I would turn to the mother and ask her, did she murder possibly run or something?
How dark is it in here?
How dark is it?
Yeah.
It's candlelight in here, and the whole place has got a very nice, soft, holy glow.
Would I be aware if there's a thing that he could do to use a little bit of darkness in the room to hide, or if that's not a thing?
You would roll Arcana.
I've rolled 3. 14.
You think that it's somewhere either he's teleported, he's somehow come out of this plane, or
Yeah.
he is invisible.
Okay.
You can't think of anything
Yes,
else
okay,
that
so
he.
Okay, shit.
You can't think of anything else it might be. So either
Lucian, do you have anything to help here?
well, you clearly hurt him. I've got healing word. I can cure wounds if I can touch him. But
Does mother give?
no. I don't tend to, as I said, routinely use my holy energy in that way. And he's kind of like, you know.
I don't need you to hurt him. I need you to reveal it.
I have.
Can I do an intimidation on the mother to try and get her to have some sort of information in her son, like where he might go to, or how well does this woman know her son?
Try, yeah.
That's an 18 plus 2, so 35.
She's shaking. She's just like, I don't know. I mean, last time I saw him really doing any magic, it was, making little sparks, like small fireworks. I mean,
I don't really know your son.
he spends a lot of time in his room. I mean, teenagers. I let him because he's just trying to stay out of the way of his father. He got beaten a lot, and he's better out of the way of him. He has no friends I know of. I don't know where he would go.
So Father should still definitely help me. Like I said, like what I need you to do is like reveal.
He's like
He doesn't.
so
have
you start seeing Father Lucian doing this, like kind of walking around the church, like with his arms out,
I
going.
guess he's kind of trying.
Well, no, he looks like he's like really stuck. He looks like he's like, shit. I don't routinely torture people. I don't have any like psychic damage spells, and now I can't reveal where. I don't know. So he's kind of like sweeping his arms around like this, going, I fucking don't know what. Yeah.
Alright, well, I guess we're done here.
Did we manage
Do
to
we
obtain
try and intimidate them
the
to
corpse of
let us know?
The woman, I think, is dodged.
Ghost?
Maybe.
What have we got?
We have a bunch of bones that could be him.
How would we go about identifying him?
I was going to take him to the ghost and say, hey, he's yours.
Yeah, that looks like my humorous.
Well, or we just
I
bury
should probably
them,
try
or we
and
just
do
give them a last right and bury
So
them.
I've got
Sort of like,
See if that helps him.
So I'm gonna go up to
We do
the
that
woman
while we're here.
Yeah.
and very
Fine.
intimidately ask her about the mirror.
Okay.
Why or what were you talking to Strahd about through that mirror? I saw
yeah.
the other side of it. I know you were.
So
I'm
Harley
gonna roll for
returned
intimidation.
to it was like you said it was
Legit.
What?
11?
Yeah.
Another 11.
Emma, can I just
Yes,
can I
sorry.
press one a little bit? And
Yes.
actually be there, but just be very quiet in the corner for now.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Yes. She's
So
like,
it's-
I've never spoken to Strahd.
Lies!
I've seen
Dude, desecrate this chat.
I've seen a
for
woman,
lies.
a woman coming and going from her bed chamber, but I've not seen Strahd. Why?
Do you recognise the woman?
No, I have no idea why she's in the mirror.
I would ask her to describe the woman.
So she describes a young woman, maybe sort of late teens, early 20s, dark hair, seems quite petite, doesn't seem ill-treated or unwell, comes and goes, gets dressed, goes to sleep, gets up, goes out.
Creepy.
Just that. Your call, Malachi.
Well, Malachi, while we're here, because I've been sitting here.
What are you doing?
And Mr. Lucian, sir, we've got these bones here that we want to bury and give the
Oh, good call. Thank you. Forgot about that.
give the
Well, the good priest bet.
the holy thing.
I was enraptured with rage.
Yeah, it's not about reverence.
Just
but
and
with
holy.
potential people and a nice burial in an unmarked grave.
Might have to whip myself a couple times.
You do that. adjust the silice onto the other.
The
onto
child
the other
approves.
thigh.
Okay, the bones. Poor Father Lucian. He's like, this is like 1:30 in the morning. It's like his worst nightmare coming through. Yesterday you were reconsecrating his church, and now we're just like intimidating and scaring you, bought bones
Say a
and.
few things from your book, and do the thing.
Okay, and so Father Lucian goes, okay, and goes back to his study, and he gets the key, and he opens the. Yeah, you're wisely asleep. He opens the.
I actually can't. Oh yeah, I would have had a wild shape.
He opens the side door.
I'm sure there's a better option.
That goes out to the graveyard. So the side door at the front of the church, out to the graveyard. You head out. There is a shovel like next to the church. Milovich normally digs the graves.
We can dig it.
See them. Roll perception.
That'll be a
21.
With 21, 13, you see there's a shovel.
Rolling perception?
Is the shovel a
Just
myth?
in case you crit. You never know.
With a 21, you see imprints in the mud moving away from the church.
I'll point it out in that
Oh.
and I would ask Father Lucian about them. Any idea?
Oh no, you see them as you.
Oh, it's still moving.
Okay,
Okay.
there he is.
Okay, sick. Can I see him?
Can I try and use my whip to kind of like
Attack with disadvantage.
I'm
So,
gonna
like, kind of
guiding bolt
to
in the
sort of,
direction the footprints.
Attack with disadvantage.
Okay, sick.
I got a nat 20 and a
Well,
19.
that's definitely not gonna hit.
You.
So
That's fine. With your whip?
25.
So your whip finds
I got a
purchase.
two.
So you
Oh, I thought
you
it was 12.
see. You don't see anything, but you see your whip coil around something.
Yeah.
That appears. There's nothing
Yeah.
there, but you see your whip
I
coil around
catch
it,
with my
and
whip.
this sort of sort of noise.
I can't believe I rolled a nat 20 and a 19 at disadvantage.
Nice.
Okay, so where her whip
Are
is
you a
now like
champion?
holding something, is this within walking distance from me?
Yeah.
I'll walk up to it
What
and burn
is
his hands up.
And while he's doing that, can I just give a kick in the shin, or where I perceive to be the shin?
You can, or you. So
So that's a deck save of 16, which he's strong
Great
inside,
weapon
assuming
No, you're
Oh.
fine
severe
from class.
disadvantage.
I think you are a champion. I think that 19 was a crit. Colin's a champion fighter, isn't she?
Remember that
Kind
going
of
on?
the shin with an uppercut. I think.
yeah, I think so.
Cool. That
think so.
19 to hit was a
For
crit.
crit, yeah.
I don't know if that does anything.
So with your kicking in the shins, you find shins. They're sort of
I mean, I could-
underneath where the whip is.
Yeah, so you're
You
not-
can find some. You can find some sort of. You can certainly find what you think is a body held by a whip in space. Burning hands. There's this scream, and this child appears with all of its. With still up. With all of his still of his robes on fire.
I'll do
Yeah,
the
well, at least they're
damage
invisible
with
anymore.
with the whip as well.
So we get another attack, or is he attacking us back first?
At the moment, he can't attack because his
There's
arms are pinned
6.
with his whip.
6 whip damage.
Alright, well, you know
Only
what?
6
That
with
burning hands is pretty effective. I'm going to do it
Yeah,
again.
I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Whips a D4, aren't they?
That's a 12.
It was more so they just
Okay. So as you do that, there's just this sort of one last long, drawn-out scream, and he's just sort of full charred over the edge of the whip, sort of suspended vertically in space. He's
That was legit my last vessel.
he's definitely dead.
How many-
You
how
keep.
many-
Child
You turn around. You see Lydia at the door. Just
I don't actually.
And
I
she-
would kind of turn to Malachi and I would just kind of deadpan look at it like I wasn't expecting him to actually kill
And
a child.
she
but-
runs back inside. So
Has he got like any like rings or jewelry on his fingers?
he hasn't got any fingers anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Alright, carry on.
No, he
I
wasn't.
would like-
He had what was like a small pendant he used as a focus, but nothing. Particularly.
He didn't have a crest of the family or anything.
No.
I would like to follow Lydia.
Okay.
We can barely
You
hear
can hear her. I mean, she's not hiding. She's just
No,
sobbing in the
Let's
church,
go back to
digging the grave. Okay. Father Lucian is just like praying fervently.
Say to Lydia,
and-
start digging an extra one.
First decent thing you've done or
and he's he's
The
just
poor, the poor Father Lucian.
Not expecting.
This is why I'm not there.
I would be trying.
Yeah,
I
so
would
nice.
Trying to console Lydia a bit because I genuinely did not think that Malachi would kill that child. I am shocked and aghast.
100%.
And I would. As little as it might
Lydia's
be,
just curled up, sobbing, sitting on a pew, just sobbing. You dig a hole.
Yeah.
You bury the bones. Father Lucian is just like,
I'll do a prayer on them.
and he's like trying to get
I'll
this
dig I'll
done.
dig an extra
Yeah.
hole for the kids. So I'll do so much justice.
Somewhere like that.
Okay,
Whatever's left of them.
okay. And
So I'm probably not getting much of a long rest tonight. Probably a short one. Might have to take the day. You guys go out without me.
We need to be kind of careful here because Lydia's still in town. She knows that you guys killed Burgomaster.
Yeah, on her instruction.
Yeah, but
no,
we just killed her
She
son.
pretty much did.
She has just killed. We have just killed her son. Though.
The,
She might go
the
and
murdering
tell
of the
the
Burgomaster was
You're fresh. I'm not. You can take on.
That wasn't right. Nothing to do with it.
I'm gonna go home with myself if you time and go this.
So,
Okay. So you're heading back to the Blue Water Inn, having murdered Victor,
Yep.
buried the bones,
Yep.
buried Victor. Father Lucian's like stood like this in his church, going, "What the fuck just
I know that
happened?"
You guys would have told me that you killed the Burgomaster, yes?
I think
Or in
Yeah, I would have informed you.
Yeah.
on the way there. Yeah.
I want to go see our ghost friend.
even the walls had
If he's
ears.
still there.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I'm
It's
like
kind
3
of
a.m.
worried about that.
Okay. So you.
And then we get
So
my
Malachi's
secret-
gone to take his rest.
True.
Malachi's gone to join the team taking a rest. Etherdwe wants to go to the haunted house. Are you going with him or are you going to take a rest? What are you doing with Lydia?
And you guys told me that it was on her instruction to.
I did not tell you
No,
anything. If anyone said anything
So
while we were in
it
the
was-
street, I would have told everyone to shut up
Yeah.
and not say anything until we were.
Did
well
Malachi
and
tell
truly
me that it was under the wife's instruction that they killed the Burgomaster?
I think he was.
Did you know if that was?
Well,
I think
so
we were gonna- I don't
so
know
he
if we
killed the
were
Burgomaster.
I know he.
No,
that's
so the
why I'm
wife
like.
never said kill the burner. The wife just said my husband's awful. Help me.
So does
and
she
then
know
when-
that we've killed him?
And then legged
Yes.
And then later killed her son.
Does she know we killed the Burgomaster?
it. No, because she ran away.
Cool. So if she doesn't know we've killed the Burgomaster, maybe keep it that way. I'm not there, but like
But the note that we left there says that they
he ran away.
ran
Yeah, but
away
you
with
don't
his
know that.
family.
You don't know that.
True.
I don't know what to do here. I'm conflicted because I feel like this is going to heavily backfire on us.
So you don't know what happened in the house.
Mhm.
So all you know is that there's a mirror, which apparently she got from Mrs. Watcher,
Mm-hmm.
that her son is apparently a necromantic psychopath that Malachi's got an issue with.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of ranting about that and a lot of ranting about Strahd and a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And
Etherdwe
that's
knows, doesn't
essentially all you knew. So there's now you and Etherdwe in the church with Mrs. Burgomaster. So Etherdwe knows what happened in the house.
Is this my father's in the house?
I'm not sure Etherdwe actually knows what Mrs. Burgomaster said because you'd snuck into the bedroom and you had that conversation with her on the corridor.
it? Yeah, true.
By which time Etherdwe had chopped his head off. because he went in through the dressing room. So you were out on the corridor
Yes.
as she was trying to book it. So he may well not know.
Fair enough, fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. I more meant he does know about the fake suicide note we left.
He does know about the fake leaving town note
Leaving town, yes.
that you left, and the fact that you've made it look like somebody's tossed the
Yeah,
house
'cause
and that they've done a runner because he helped do
definitely
that.
knows that we will make
Yes.
it look like the family left him.
Yes.
Okay.
So you know all of you know the
So that's why
backup plan.
I know that.
No, Etherdwe knows that bit, and there's you and Etherdwe in the church with Lydia and Father Lucian.
What am I, a counsellor? I don't know how to-
And you are a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Fine. So Father Lucian's like, I with all due respect, Malachi's left, and since Malachi's left, he's taken this huge sigh of relief, and now just looks really traumatized.
Yeah.
He's like, with all due respect, would you mind maybe leaving so that I can console my sister? I'm not 100% sure what's happened here, but I would appreciate some time
Well,
with my sister.
I'm also not quite sure what happened here, but I will definitely leave you be.
And
I'm
he
deeply sorry for what happened. I honestly did not expect him to kill the and Harleen is now like, can you talk? I don't know. I don't think I'm a criminal, but like, am I a child killing criminal? Like, I helped him murder this. So like, he's not just okay. I will leave you be. I will check.
Conflicted.
Check it. Yeah,
I've got to do some meaning making.
I will.
Yeah.
I will be in touch to see how you both are in a few days.
Lydia's just looking at you like that's like the most mad thing she's heard ever, but doesn't say anything. And Father Lucian's like, you can leave my church now, thank you.
I will 100% leave the church.
And he locks the doors behind you. He locks like literally just on the other side of the door. He locks the door behind you, just shy of slamming it. And
do you
that's
want to do do you have to do the bonus now? I feel like we should get back to the end and kind of let everyone else know.
The bones
Can
are.
you do the bonus like tomorrow?
I just
feel
want
like
to see the guy. I just want to see the guy. Hey, I'll be it quickly.
Yeah, steal the treasure.
No, I just want to go. Do you want to come, Harley?
I will go with the
Can
kid
you
and
do my
then
Okay.
try. I will go with the kid and I will try and make it a quick journey to the guy
okay.
Are you
so that we can then
Harley,
of the ghost.
going
No,
to a haunted house at 2
of
a.m.
Malachi.
morning.
Yes.
He's
Okay.
going to be in his room with his
What's talking about?
They're scared of you.
We've been
So you-
kicked out of the church.
So you whip through.
We've been kicked out.
So you whip through town.
Yeah.
You sneak through
As
town.
opposed
You
to
go.
Malachi.
Yeah, he's got to bed. So you sneak into, well, you go into the haunted house. There's nobody around. It's sort of early hours of the, 2:00 in the morning. And yep,
Am I the only one that's completely amused that you have a literal vampire in the party and you're more scared of the human creature?
That is a bit
You
funny.
did not just witness, but we did.
there is irony in that fact. There is irony. There is irony.
Pointing that irony out.
Yeah, I've seen the irony.
Do we remember?
Herod, the ghost. Yep.
Okay,
Herod.
He
Herod. Hey, boy.
We've got a bone.
he
No, we don't anymore.
he appears with this sort of, I am a historian, an academic, not some common mongrel
Please
dog.
forgive him.
Not that there's anything
He
wrong
is
with
but a child. He knows no better.
Thank you.
Yes. So you're still alive. You're still in ghostly or ethereal form.
But I am being called on.
Ah, so we did.
Good.
Then it
I have
worked. We
been-
recovered your remains and kept them.
I have been waiting for you before I move. Thank you for finding my bones and giving them a decent burial. I promised you items to help you. There is both a book containing information about Strahd and his life hidden here in the town, and with it a ring that can protect you in ways. It is in the location of those items are hidden in the front study room of the mansion just across the square
Oh, the one
of
Vic likes to go into.
Vasily von Holtz. They are not on his usual bookshelf, but in the corner.
Yeah.
There
the
is
one we glossed over.
in the corner
The one
there.
he definitely would have gone into
There is
regardless of our
We know
blessings.
exactly.
But he wasn't
where
there,
this is.
so-
There is a secret room behind that bookshelf.
Yeah, we know there's a single room. Thank you. We got
Do
it.
you know?
You're in bed.
not
You're
I'm
there.
in bed.
You're in
Do we know how to access this secret room?
Ash knows where it is.
He moves a book on the shelf, and that book is not a book. It is a secretly behind that is a secretly disguised lever. When you pull that lever, the bookshelf slides to the side and reveals a room within that contains this particular text and a ring. I have seen him in there
Okay. Did
reading
we leave
the.
Van Holt's residence
In good terms,
in
yeah.
good terms? Yeah.
I think break
But actually, get back
Because we didn't steal shit.
Yeah.
We will now.
That was a large.
Do we know what the book is that we have to remove as a lever?
Well, the book, as I said, I'm a historian. This would be a very personal.
You're right there, Malachi.
This would be a very personal journal and detailed history of the von Zaroviches
Couldn't you sort of that illusion, yeah?
in the corner. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know what the book is anyway.
So you know how to get into the room. The book that he's telling you about on the other side of that's what he's saying is a history of a personal history or from it's known as Strahd's tome. It is his personal history.
And why does he have it? Why does Vasily what's his name?
Well, he would be, a collector of many things. I do not know why particularly he would have it, only that he does.
Do we want to try and get out before we head back to the
While
party?
it's night time, while the house is asleep. Why don't you come along too because
Yeah.
you can read and I can't, so I wouldn't know which
We
one
used
it
to
is.
do some of the
Well,
classes,
I probably do. I'm 10. I need to grow and stuff like that.
It's fine.
What's a bit of sleep deprivation ever done?
But yes. All right. So across we go.
I mean,
Is
I'm a
the-
fighter. I've got nothing.
is the front
to
door
punch
locked,
that
Emma?
during the
Yes, the front door is locked.
rest.
You might want to roll a history check.
This is a bad
Well,
idea.
that's
Who's going to be with my brain?
that's a 2.
I'll try, even though
I've got no
it's not as
pluses.
bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought my history would be absolutely shite.
Roll better than a 2 at least.
For some reason, I must have watched the Tony Robinson documentary, and I know that it happened to watch that
Ready.
program.
Love it.
Yes. Time team goes Ravenloft style.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well
So
done.
was that a crit on a history check?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that? You would remember that one of the items that was referenced in the readings, the Tarot readings of Madame Eva, that there was a book referenced in that.
Who was that for?
So she did a reading for each of you, and then there was a reading about very specific items that you may find helpful. So with a this card tells of history So it was the was this one. So it was the Seven of Glyphs, the Charlatan. The card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy, a dark book. And she turned the Seven of Glyphs, which is the Charlatan, the card of tricksters. Watch carefully and take nothing for granted. A young nobleman seeks power. A prized book of such as this would certainly be of great value. Seek him in Valachi.
That would be one whole. Yeah,
Whose card was that?
That was so. There were. It was one of the general readings. So there was
okay.
general reading. So yeah. So you all got something specific, and then there was the first card, which was the Seven of Glyphs. Then card 2. So as a refresher, while we're here, tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. It was one of swords, the Avenger, justice and revenge for great wrongs, those on a quest to rid the world of great evil. The treasure lies in a dragon's house, in hands once clean and now corrupted. 3 was, this is a card of power and strength, tells a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight, and was 7 of swords, the hooded one. Deceit and evil, stupidity, bigotry and intolerance. I see a faceless God. He awaits you at the end of a long and winding road deep in the mountains. This number 4 was, this card sheds light on one who will help you in the battle against darkness. Something, and it was the mist, something unprepared, unexpected or mysterious. A Vistana wanders this land alone, searching her mentor. She does not stay in one place for long. Seek her out at St. Malkovia's Abbey near the mists. And 5 was, your enemy is a creature of darkness whose powers are beyond mortality. And his card was the broken one, defeat, failure and despair, the loss of someone or something important, without which he feels incomplete. He haunts the tomb of the man he envied above all. Okay, so those are the 4 or the 5 very specific things related to the quest, and then there were specific things for each of you. Yeah. Okay. So you've found that out.
So,
Yep.
so that makes me feel like it's going to be harder to get this book than we think. I feel like.
So with a 21, you with a crit in history, you remember that and suddenly feel that this is all like, this book that you missed out on because you'd have been there in the first place. You weren't there at that time, Ethel, where you were trying out being a, being an orphan and decided it was shit. That he's got this book and he must be the charlatan, and that this is the thing that Madame Eva was talking about, and to you that's like blatantly obvious. You've not met Vasily von Holtz.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't. He wasn't there.
Wasn't he trying to sell wine to them?
He didn't know. He met the manservant. It was 4 a.m.
Is it so it's a book and a
ring.
A ring.
And there's a ring there.
There's a lever.
So the lever's not. That's not the book.
No.
The book is the one where you actually.
No. It looks like a book on a bookshelf.
All right, cool.
The lever's behind it.
Let's go.
Don't split the party.
Yeah, no,
You see Quinny's voice on the wind.
I have a feeling that because he is the charlatan that is seeking more power, that it is going to be trapped.
All right. Well, should we
I
come
feel
back
like
as
we
a
should
group?
go back.
Maybe like
Yes.
lunchtime.
Yes.
Have a lunch with the. With
Somebody
the
can
person while
distract him.
I sneak off to the toilet.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Please, let's just
Okay.
go back
Let's
to the
go
party.
back.
So we'll everybody goes to bed. It's now 3 a.m. So if you are sleeping for a long rest, you'll be sleeping until quite late in the morning. But you are welcome to do that if you wanted to take a long rest.
While they are catching up on their sleep,
Okay.
Quinny is going to take advantage of having gone to bed early and go resolve this. I don't know if you want to do that in front of everyone or otherwise, but that was the note
Okay.
at the other session.
Okay. So
The rest of us getting a long rest.
you can take a long rest.
I'm only taking you short.
You'll
short rests.
You'll just take a short rest getting
Yeah.
up in the morning.
I'll take a long rest. We need to go for lunch somewhere.
Okay, you'll be up for lunch. Yeah. You're going to sleep in, take your long rest. Okay. roll a intelligence saving throw.
Ooh.
No, Malachi.
I would inform the party as to what happened in the church.
Go away, I'm trying to sleep.
No. When
Oh, in the
in
morning.
the morning.
So when you
12.
okay, we'll come back to that. So in the morning when you
No,
wake up.
I'm gonna wake you up as soon as we get there to let.
So when
Well,
you
that's what I
wake,
thought you meant.
so when you wake up in the morning, Ethridwe's still in bed. Vash is awake because Vash has had his long rest.
Yeah.
Malachi's still in bed, taking his long rest. Quinny is out.
Yeah.
Quinny's not there.
Well, I mean, these two were the only two, and Zephyr that weren't there.
Yep.
So I would inform them of what
Okay.
went down in the church and how
Okay.
I'm worried.
I'm going to resolve Quinny's thing first. So Quinny
Yes.
heads up to the Watcher House, which is the other big mansion on the outskirts of town. So you've identified where it is. There was a map on the notice board inviting people to the book club that Fiona Watcher runs at
warn you about the mirror coming from the Watcher woman, but okay.
at the Watcher House. So you get up there and there's a big set of doors. It's very early in the morning. You can sort of see through the curtains that there is movement in there.
Inadvertently. It wasn't on purpose.
The door swings open, and a sort of a hunched figure is standing there. Good morning. How can I help you,
I'm here to speak with, was it, was I given a
Fiona,
name?
Lady Fiona Watcher?
I'm
Yeah,
here to speak
and you
with
know that.
Fiona Watcher, and then I'll walk inside.
And he bustles past you, and he didn't particularly seem too worried about the fact that you've done that, but bustles past you and goes, to the parlour, and he sort of puts his hand out in the direction of a room. I will call the lady down. Just take a seat. She will be here in a moment. It's very early, you know.
Quinny will say nothing and take a seat.
Okay. So you sit there, 5-6 minutes, and then and this woman sort of sweeps in. Sort of tall. So this is the Watcher house. She's tall, blonde hair, sort of swept back, wearing a sort of high collared cloak over a dress. Seems sort of pretty sort of high up, noble woman, and goes, "Good morning. May I help you?"
Do I know where that message came from?
Yes.
Wonderful. Then I will say I've been sent by Strahd. What do you need?
Sorry.
The fuck did I miss? Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
In case you
Sorry, it was just her.
that, I looked up from my phone, very shocked, Ryan. Wide-eyed.
Into the shock rock on my face.
And she sits down and goes, "Oh, fascinating, and fascinating. And how do you know? How do you know, Strahd?
Last night while we were murdering the Burgomaster, he told me to come help him.
The Burgomaster is dead, you say?
Yes.
Interesting.
He's
Oh,
the
that'll
baddest
make
we've
things
killed so far.
much easier.
He was 16.
So, do you know? Did Strahd tell you what we've been doing here?
No.
And she looks really enthused. She, come with me, and she takes you through down a corridor into like it's almost like servants' quarters. You see lying in the bed there the man that you healed at the Burgomaster's the night before.
Yep.
Is in one of the beds there,
Oh.
still looking beaten
guy
up,
who was
but
chained
no,
up?
the guy who's chained up.
Yep.
Looks like he's headed there at the same time as Lydia went to the church. And he, I did. You must
That was
have.
us, yes.
Thank you for bringing him back. We need all the people we can get. And she opens the door to the cellar, takes you down to the cellar.
Sex dungeon.
This is going to be hard to forget.
When you get down to the cellar, you can hear it's very quiet, unusually so. You can see there's a sort of alcove with what looks like a giant symbol drawn onto the ground. There appears to be blood on the ground there. And
As in the symbols drawn in blood, or there's blood on it?
blood on the symbol.
Yeah.
And she was like, so, the people here don't appreciate that Strahd can grant great power to those who are on his side. And the Burgomaster has for many years. He is an evil man, and I am grateful that you have managed to rid Valachi of his influence. It makes things easier for me to prepare to welcome Strahd back into Valachi without the Burgomaster sort of whipping up all this frenzy all the time. We have managed to...
Emma, can I have another look at that note really quickly, just to check some exact wording of what I was talking about?
This has been a very traumatizing few days, to say the least.
Wonderful. And I'm to follow that to the word?
Mhm.
Brilliant.
We put some guys down to dress.
One little thing amongst the goals of her.
We've been raising a small army. We are intending, me and the other members of the book club, to rid Valachi of some of its more militant fanatics. Mainly the guards and such like. Most of the people, they're easily swayed. Creating a power vacuum, so to speak. Strahd has... I've known him a long time, since I was a girl, and has let me know if we can do that successfully. He would quite happily just sort of let me run the place and largely leave it much alone. So we needed to get the Burgomaster out of the way, which you've kindly already achieved. And then we basically need to take down anybody loyal to him. We have been creating... a small army, as I said, but largely we're going to need an inn, probably with the guards. The one we worry about is Extrasny. If he goes down, the rest of them will fold. They're sheep. He is the linchpin. If we can get his Extrasny to fall, we may be able to undertake a coup with minimum harm or effort, which would be ideal.
Isaac appears to have some sort of obsession with a member of our party, and then Quinny will relay the information about dolls.
Interesting. He is very, very strange. He's been like that. The Burgomaster, the current Burgomaster, ex-Burgomaster's father, took him in as a child, found wandering in the woods out by the lake. No idea what happened to his parents. He'd lost his arm. There was he went to the abbey up into San Marcovia, and they made him some kind of a new one. He's always been a bit strange. I didn't know he was into toys. I would have no idea what he would be doing with a friend of yours. Is she from these parts?
No, none of us are.
Well, I mean, technically Bash is, but, you know.
Oh, that's true.
So
Blood
who was
wise.
found in the forest, sorry?
Izek Strasny, head of the guard.
Guards.
The one that's
Oh, yeah.
obsessed with me.
So
So you've got one
if
arm.
you could potentially, I don't know, maybe find a way to take out Izek Strasny, that would make way for a relatively bloodless
He should disappear.
Hmm?
You want him to disappear?
That would be fantastic if we could arrange that.
It'll be done. Quinny turns around and walks away.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the guardhouse.
Okay. You go to the guardhouse.
What is her not breaking up the party? And you were adding
You shouldn't break out the party. I've got 100 hit points to play around.
Yeah. And you can just turn into a rat or a fucking dog
And
fuck off.
There's a whole load of guards. It's sort of changing of the guard. So the
You saw how
nighttime guards are all going to bed.
indestructible the wood
They're
was.
having some kind of handover. They're opening the big gates after curfew. So they're opening the doors to Malachi.
Yep.
He hasn't seen it yet.
I'm looking
guardhouse.
around for Izek. I know
Is
Izek.
Strasny doesn't? Yeah, you've sort of vaguely seen him in justice. You don't see him here.
Wonderful. I will. I'll kind of look around. My goal is to look inconspicuous. If I can't see Izek around
Nope.
there, I will probably head. I think I'll probably head back to the Blue Water Inn.
Okay.
And for the rest of the day, I'm going to be head on a swivel looking for Izek.
Okay. No worries.
Super.
So you're having breakfast with you're having sort of breakfast with Vash.
Yeah, I'm having a crisis moment with Bash.
Quinny comes back in, and it's sort of late morning. So Etherdwe and Malachi.
Actually, sorry, Quinny,
Sorry?
before she comes back
Yes.
in, takes out one of the bottles of wine and pours half of it in the garden, and then wanders in with a half-empty bottle of wine.
Okay. And these two come down after their lie-in. So everybody's had a full rest, apart from you've had a short rest. Malachi, are you up?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody downstairs in the Blue Water Inn, you've had a long rest.
Yeah.
I would tell Bash
You have now had a long rest.
Okay, so
about everything that happened
cryptic
with,
intelligence.
while with Malachi and after
Yep.
Malachi.
What was the-
telling the story? Bash just absent-mindedly started playing some like dirty kind of thing on his flute, just very quietly.
Am I the only one up in the Blue Water Inn now?
No,
No, everybody's up. You've come down, they're all down now. So you're the
What's
last
going
person
on?
up.
What are you looking at me like that for?
What's the plan today?
Well,
It's the festival tonight?
Children.
Ooh.
what was that?
Say that again.
Bash. It says, hopefully not killing any more children.
Hey.
Well,
A, how do you know that? And B,
Because they've been talking about it while you've been asleep.
Oh, okay.
I told them everything that happened
not a kid. 16, different world.
in front of
Also,
his mother.
Legally allowed to do
I have
so.
something else to say.
Do not question my authority.
When where?
Yeah.
Where
Where were you, Quinny?
Where have you been?
Where were you, Quinny?
Quinny's going to hold up the half-drunk bottle of wine and say I was commuting with Dionysus.
Is there any way we could? I heard you that when I was having my leave of
Deception
absence,
check.
You came to
Are you insight checking
I
that?
did, but I rolled a 4, so unless I rolled inside. So
Well,
I rolled an 8.
Do I have advantage or anything like that for the effects of the spell?
On
On a deception check.
no.
I'll just do mine.
Not
Yeah.
great.
That's a success.
Was it lower than an 8?
No.
No, I rolled an 8.
7.
Oh, so you did roll lower than me.
Oh, 8, did you say?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, that's a 7.
Okay. Quinny's hard to read at the best of times, but
But something just feels off.
it feels slightly off. Just feels slightly off. You see, Quinny's a happy drunk, generally speaking. Seems a little bit preoccupied, but
It is. This is my sister's old laptop before she
Okay.
got a very fancy
Kylie
camera.
more and bring it up or anything. She would
I got a success on my prayer thing for the
Okay.
instant crit thing.
fine.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, I hope it was a good chat with the deity.
Enthralling. I think we should find out what's happening with the town since the burgomaster is missing.
When is the festival?
Festival will be within, I think, 3 days. I will tell you exactly. Hold on. I think it's 3 days. But so the Festival of the Blazing Sun is due on the 28th of the month, and it is currently the 26th. So 48 hours to the festival.
Did you hear about the dolls we found in the house?
The dolls in the house?
Yeah.
There's more of that?
Yeah, the master of the guard has dolls that look remarkably like you.
Harleen just just hands over her head or her eyes like could just get any worse. Just like really contemplating her life and decisions of coming on this journey. I'm going, how many of them?
Hundreds.
And she just like opens her eyes, looks directly at Quinny like, hundreds?
At least.
I wish she was exaggerating, but it's not.
Okay, well that is very concerning. Harleen would just try and grab the bottle of wine out of Quinny's hands and just take a huge swig.
Drunk, is it?
How would you feel if hundreds of dolls were created with you, Malachi? Wouldn't you be a little bit unsettled
I
by
think
it?
they're very faithful people.
I imagine with the burgomaster missing, the head of the guard will probably be in charge of the town currently.
That's a little worrying, is it not?
Should we go find out what's happening?
I think we should.
Can I ask, guys?
Is there a way that I can try and like disguise myself in a way so I'm not as noticeable to this guy who is completely obsessed with me? Does the rogue have a disguise kit or something? Can I
Well,
like-
as a matter of fact, I do.
have a makeover?
I'm also proficient in disguising people.
You might need to wear something other than red and black.
I'm an assassin. And
What do I need to roll for a disguise thing?
It's the people with the kit who do it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the people with the kit.
Okay.
So whoever's going to disguise you, whether that's Etherdwe or Vash, need to roll.
Someone just needs to
I'm happy
disguise
to
me.
do
Roll it as
I don't think I have a disguise kit.
roll it as
Should I
well.
have it?
probably
Not
performance with
necessarily,
proficiency.
It depends on your background and stuff.
I've got proficiency in performance anyway.
There you go then.
Fantastic.
Not on my list of items.
There's not
Oh, it's
the
ceremony.
proficiencies.
That's one of my favourite spells. It's
I
just
totally
so
want to do a
interesting.
random.
The few
That would be a 22.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would be possible.
Yep.
But I would still be very trying to keep the low profile
Okay.
while going out with money.
Harleen is currently wearing blue. Looks completely different. So are you...
Has a hat on.
Has a hat.
hair.
Wear glasses.
That's fine. Where are you headed?
Yeah, we're just headed out to the town to see kind of.
I think we go to the burgomaster's house.
We go straight to the burgomaster's.
We don't have to go through town together.
Yeah.
I imagine that's where the head of the guard will be.
Yeah.
That's where he was living.
Well, I feel like we should just go
Okay.
go out.
I guess your
Go
other
for a
option
wander
would be to...
proceed.
the only other option, I guess, would be whether you wanted to see Blinsky to see if he's got any more information, seeing as he's made them, which is what you were planning to do
Mm-hmm.
several sessions back. But you stole the doll, then you had to return the doll.
I don't think there's really any questions for Blinsky.
We
How do you
know-
make this?
we
How do
know-
you know how to
Yeah.
make this?
We only know that he did it on the orders of the
Yeah.
burgomaster.
Because
Is anyone coming with Harleen and Quinny?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
Yeah,
not stop
back
the
one.
party, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
What
I
was I
think we
saying?
will go for a wander through the town to try and see what's
So
happening.
amble
to
through
see-
the town in the direction of the Burgomaster's
Yeah.
mansion. Okay. As you're wandering through the town in the general direction of the burgomasters, you hear this, or you see what appear to be battalions of guards heading in the direction of the burgomaster's mansion. So coming off the walls, coming out of the guardhouses around the city, and all heading up towards the burgomaster's mansion.
Okay.
I dare say they know what's going on.
It does seem like it. Are the guards like talking to each other, sort of thing? Is there somebody like giving orders?
Yeah, so you can hear what appears to be the captain of such small groups of guards going, "We've been summoned. There's trouble at the house. There's a festival coming up. We must get a move on and get up there straight away. Right,
He's at the house.
quick, smart, let's go."
What is our plan?
I assumed you wanted to talk to him. That works as well.
Let's go.
Well, I mean, my plan. My plan was more just try and figure out what was happening in the town. See if we're in danger of any sort.
I think if we were in danger, Quinny is going to be really careful. There's not like guards around while saying this, but I think if we were in danger, we'd be dead already.
Yeah.
If they knew, we'd be done for. We're not exactly keeping a low profile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Still, it might be better to err on the side of caution and approach them while they're gathering such large numbers.
Definitely. Especially when there's that many guards. Where's Vempolz's house from?
It's
Is it the opposite direction?
It's in the centre of town, so it's on the same square as the toy shop, on the opposite corner to the haunted house. So you kind of went past it on your way. When you went into the haunted house, you went past it.
No, because I have a feeling he might be trapped in somewhere. Because he's wanting these things for more power. It's not going to be as easy as yoink of pull lever yoink.
Well, I got the long rest. What are we doing now?
So which way are you heading?
I think we should go to Berg's master's house. Now is a better time.
What for?
Chaos, there's confused easy to investigate when there's people don't know what's going on. If we wait too long, we might lose the
What's the
dogs.
burgomaster's house?
The guard.
Do you not
the
think-
guard.
Quinny,
What? Because the
do you not
guard.
think it'd be suspicious if we walked up to the burgomaster's house asking questions as to what's going on while they're all there?
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to be doing that today. There's a bunch of guards moving around.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming the town's
You
there's a
can
lot
see
going on.
people heading,
Yeah.
like following the
Yeah.
guards up the hill. There's obviously something
There's
going
one
around.
thing.
There's crowds
There's
gathering.
one,
Yeah.
there's one
I
thing
think
you're
we
not
go-
taking into account, Quinny. We were seen going into the burgomaster's house last night. With the newcomers in town, we will be the first person they find.
Yeah. I feel like now would be a prime opportunity, possibly when Holt will not be in his house, to try and get this book.
Alright.
While there is this commotion, while there is this big distraction.
Oh, he will be most interested in this.
Mhm.
Coming to
So,
the
well-
what's happening there.
I would like to kind of take a perception of Van Holtz's house to see if anyone is coming out, if there's anyone inside.
You don't see anybody coming in or going out. Certainly.
22.
Yeah.
26.
At the time that you're there, you don't see anybody coming in or going out. There don't appear to be any lights on, the curtains drawn, but you don't see anybody coming in or going out of the house.
Should we try and stealth away?
I think
I feel like I should potentially,
Well,
yeah,
those friends.
like because I'm in disguise, so he won't know that it's me with you guys. Knock on the door to see if there is anyone harmed.
is it that good of a disguise?
He was a 20-something.
Yeah.
He may or may not.
He may not, but I can still.
He'd have to
We're
perception
also
against
on good
deception,
terms.
I
We
think.
could
Yeah.
just go in and be like, hey, let's hang out.
True,
Let's
getting
explore
into
your
it.
Yeah,
place.
it's more like
But then
If-
we
if
also
there's-
know if he's there.
True.
Like, if we
And-
we
yeah.
sneak in, he could just be there.
yeah.
It's like,
no,
For sure.
but if
that's
we knock
what
on
I
the
mean.
door and he doesn't answer
And
the
I'll
door,
open
we
the
can just go in.
And we can
Yeah.
go, oh, have you heard the news of like this commotion
Yeah.
that's going on? at the
We need to drink some
Burgomaster?
brandy and talk it over.
Yeah,
And someone else can like sneak it.
exactly.
Ooh, Has ethically
So
hide.
thinking-
So if we want to,
Yeah, 'cause
one
he
or
wasn't
more of
there.
us can go. Okay, cool. Well, I know what's going on. Let's go find out and lead
Yeah.
the way.
Alright, I'll just
Yeah,
hide.
I'm not great
I
at
don't know.
stealth.
And if we all go in,
I'm
you sneak in.
decent.
I'll hide behind the
There's the
label.
Dark
bookcase.
one
The
is
bookcase
good
is in
as
this
well.
room.
Bash, how's your stealth? Bash.
He can walk on the walls.
How's your stealth?
+5.
I have a +6.
And I can make myself invisible if I need to.
He can make himself
I
visible.
just
he can go on
don't
the
want
roof.
the kid to do
Your
this
stealth, I'm
himself.
guessing, is not great.
Horrific.
The two of us can get Sully Van Holtz
Yeah.
out of the building, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also think one of us should go to the
Yeah,
building
more
ourselves
took fast
to
first.
hear what's going on.
Well, it's probably safer for you two to go than it is for me, even
Cool.
with this guy.
Let's do that. Two of us are going to go knock on the Sully Van Holtz door. If he's there, we'll go with him.
Oh, we knock on the door.
Kind of stay out of
You knock on the door, and about 30 seconds the door opens, and it's Bram, the manservant, is there going, "Oh, hello again. Good afternoon. Can I help you?"
Good to see you,
Person
Bram.
with authority.
I'm sorry we
I'm
couldn't
good.
see you on better circumstances. Is your master Vasily around?
Yes, the master is in his study. Can
Has he heard the news?
What news? We
Apparently the burgomaster has gone. We'd like to talk to him about it.
Nobody knows that.
We
know I thought they already
that
did.
might not be
We just-
public knowledge.
Oh, well.
We just
No,
know there's
just
a
shut us in
commotion
the
at
Whatever.
the
I
burgomaster's
said it.
house.
My bad.
Oh, the burgomaster's gone missing, you say?
I think we're fucked. That I think that was a really bad.
Oh, well, yeah, happens.
Yes.
Let's get it
can we-
So Vasily von Holtz comes to the door. Vasily von, what? Hello. How lovely to see you. Can
There's some commotion.
We heard from the drunk in the street.
Yes,
drunk in the street.
Jesper? Jesper?
Stop.
Oh, Jesper.
Why would yes, no.
Why did we let him speak? Fucking hell.
So I just wanted to check with you because you or might actually know stuff. You're close to the burgomaster. Apparently he's gone missing. Do you think that's true?
What?
You've not heard?
No. I was
There's
I was
some
up there
meeting.
yesterday morning.
Yes. Well, there's
I
some
saw
meeting at the big
Guards
house.
run around.
Oh.
Maybe that was, and maybe Jesper just talk, just out of behind.
Roll deception.
Disadvantage, I feel. Jesus fucking Christ.
Hey, I was going to say ask, but I was trying to be more appropriate.
Sorry. Making me laugh.
13.
Such an
deception.
entertaining
It's an unlucky
session
number, so I
tonight.
feel like that's a good thing. Wait, should I have disadvantage?
No, she didn't say it. That was me saying.
Okay.
I'll give a help action if it is disadvantage. I'll give a help action anyway, but
Oh, if you're giving help action, you can roll. You
With advantage.
yes, I suppose you can roll. Yes, you can roll
It's
at
distracting with
advantage.
it. It doesn't.
No, God, you're terrible. He looks perplexed. Missing. Okay. Well, maybe I should send Bran to find out what's going on. I suppose.
Good.
Yes. Yeah. But Bran, can you just go up to the
we were planning on going and investigating ourselves, seeing what's happening. Would you care to accompany us?
oh,
Could be quite
Well,
some news.
I
You
suppose.
might have a better chance of learning said information.
I
Find something.
I suppose so. I was just
We
doing
would
some.
be grateful for an expert in the local goings on
And emotional support.
I'd keep you in the shed to explain the subtleties of the politic.
He's looking particularly at Malachi. Just
Shouldn't drink it, actually.
no. Okay. Let me get my cloak.
Of course.
He grab my cloak. You come too. He comes out and closes the door. We should go to the burgomaster's house.
There are a
Then
number of guards and many of the common folk heading in that direction.
Then we should find out. I would hate to think that that there is going to be trouble. My brandy straw won't replenish itself. I need the money. Let's to the burgomaster's house, and sort of wandering off in that direction.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
That's the way.
So we will wait until they are out of sight.
So you two are going to the burgomaster.
Going with
They
the
are
Burgomaster.
joining with the burgomaster
No, with the
and his servant.
Vasily to the burgomaster's house.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're going with this.
Vasily to
The
the
burgomaster's long
Did
disappeared.
the servant go with them?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's just the
So
three of us.
it's just the three of us.
Yep.
To go and get
Alright.
this ring and this book.
After we stop dirty cigarette.
All Vash leaves
After
to
we
whisper
smoke
in
under
Harley's
a
ear.
tree somewhere.
When you find the ring, I can identify it.
You're leaving? I
Yeah.
thought you were
Oh,
joining
no,
us.
I thought I'm staying with you guys.
No, you're
Yeah, Vash, you should
you're
go with
staying
them. You've
us.
got stealthing abilities. The only
Yeah.
reason it's the two of us going with Vasily is because we're not much good at sneaking around anyway.
Fair enough. I can do the sneak.
You think a drunk station
Yeah.
is not good in a stealth
Stealthy as
So-
anything. Tap shoes.
Okay.
They're also less likely to get into trouble while they're with the burgomaster, whereas we are more
Listen,
likely
Yeah,
to.
that's,
Yeah.
that's what we think, not knowing what's going on with Quinny.
You don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
don't know what's happening. That's why I'm working on that I don't know.
yeah.
Precisely.
That's
So who's going when?
so. We three will now be attempting to get into the Vasily Van Holtz's house.
That's
Okay.
Charlene and Evan. We
Yes.
are going to the house.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Winnie and Malachi are going.
Taking
Vasily to
Vasily
the
away.
big house or the
Okie
burgomaster's
dokie
place,
then.
whatever it's called.
The door is locked.
Lockpick boy.
Alright. I'll do a.
Lockpick
I have a
boy.
name, you know.
Yeah, it's lockpick boy.
What was it last week? It was something else last week. Yeah, I'm going to sleight of hand
Yeah. So
with my plus 16.
with plus 16.
Yeah.
That's a 26.
26.
Uh,
A measly 20.
no,
No issues.
no trouble at all. You just, it just clicks straight open.
Alright.
Really?
We quickly all duck inside.
Is there like a cafe
Close the
across
door
the
behind
road or
us.
something and people are standing there, sitting there drinking their morning coffee?
No, like I feel like everyone's kind of going to the burgomaster's house in
Okay.
all of this chaos.
But we'll close the
I
door.
feel we will
like,
close the
behind
door.
us, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will duck and close the door behind us.
I'll activate my Eldritch sight so I can find the bookshop quickly.
Okay.
No enemies.
So we head straight for the study.
Yep. So you head straight for the study. You can see the area in the corner of the library that has the odd the book.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been here, so I'll let you guys tell me,
Yeah.
point in the right direction.
So they point you in the direction.
I know what
Yeah.
book to pull and
Vash
everything.
will direct traffic because he's been in the room before.
Okay.
And I know what book to pull to get in. The ghost told us which book to pull.
You had identified it. You identified it the last time.
Okay.
Can I check the traps as well? Would that be?
Yeah.
You can check for traps.
Investigation.
Yep.
Not perception.
It would be investigation.
That's a 19.
Yeah, I got a 19 as well.
You do not sense any traps.
Alright.
Vash, you're magical, right? Do you want to maybe do an arcana for magical traps? Question mark.
I can have a look at it if you want.
You can see what appears to be a physical lever hidden behind sort of behind an illusion. So now you know it's there. You can see it. That does not. You can't see anything else. You can't see any evidence of a trap.
Even with my eldritch sight, I can't see like any runes on the walls or.
No.
Okay, we will.
No.
It
Pull
looks
the
open up to me.
Pardon? Yeah, it looked. Yeah.
Okay, we will. I will pull the lever.
Roll.
So as you pull the lever, exactly as Herod described, the bookshelf just sort of swings out, so like almost like a door.
And we see the book and the ring without stepping in the room.
You can see, in terms of magical things, you can see a ring. You can see a book, but it does not immediately.
Is there anything else in this room other than that ring and book?
Roll a investigation or perception, depending on how whether you're going in and looking or just trying to.
I'm going to look from the. I'm not going to step past the threshold.
Okay.
I wasn't stepping.
That
on the
makes it
threshold.
a 22.
Perception.
Yeah.
You can see. So the floor in here is stone. There's a sort of well-worn armchair and a small coffee table upon which is a ring in sitting in a sort of ring box and this book. You can see on the stone floor there appear to be markings on the floor.
I will pick up the book and the ring using telekinesis, like my mage hand.
Yep.
And I'll pull them towards me without actually setting foot in the room.
Okay.
Can we make out what's written on the floor?
You
I
can
can
roll.
look at that while I'm pulling it across.
Yeah, roll Arcana. Anybody who's
Yeah, I'm proficient in Arcana. 21.
okay. You recognise that these are markings. That these are arcane markings on the floor that look very similar, but more complete than the markings that were in the Burgomaster's attic on the floor up there. A teleportation circle.
Oh, wonderful. This is a teleportation circle. We need to get out of here now.
So
So
we
have I
have
got
we have
the
the book.
ring?
You've got the ring and the book.
Can we tell that it's
We're
the
getting
right
out
book?
straight away.
You open the book. The book itself isn't magical. You open the book. The book is handwritten, and it looks like a handwritten journal. It's sort of in this sort of close, sort of cursive text that, and on the very first line of this book, it's "I am ancient, I am the land."
All right, that's all I need to know. We have the book.
April 30th.
Let's get out
As
of
we're
here.
walking out,
April 30th. I am ancient, I am the land. Yes, April. Yeah. April the 1st.
as we're
Sorry.
walking out, I'll have Edwin and Harley doing, they'll be scouting to see whether there's anybody on the street to see if we can get at the door.
Yep.
While they're doing that, I'm going to drop a warlock slot to cast Identify on the Ring.
Okay. So perception to check out on the.
Please don't critically fail like I just did.
While I'm concentrating on the spell, they can look out for me.
That's much better.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Harlene's having trouble like getting through the really thick curtains, so you can see the curtains moving from one side to the other as she's trying to look surreptitiously out onto the street.
Harleen is very conflicted. in her
Etherdwe,
brain
yeah.
right now.
Etherdwe looks like you can't see anybody else. Everybody seems to have headed up the out of town towards the Burgomaster's house. There doesn't appear to be anybody out there at all.
That is where we shall head next. Then
Right,
we will
we
head.
shut the lever thing so that it looks like it's been.
You pull the lever and the door swings back into place.
Awesome.
And then we get out as if we
Just
can we,
allow
can we sort of relock the door? Is that a thing?
You can try and relock the door.
Right, sleight of hand.
the door.
Don't have a button on the inside.
Yeah, it's good enough. 31.
Yeah, it's got a thumb lock. You just like this is like the easiest fuck in the world. It's like it actually looks like you've got the key. I mean, you made less of an effort locking it than Vasily von Holtz did as he left. It just quite happily locked.
Cheers it out of my 400 keys.
So, the ring.
Ring of protection.
Ooh!
So it is the ring that we were going for. Alright, let's get to the Burgermasters
Well,
before
let's
we
drop
notice
this shit off
missing.
in our bags and stuff, and then get to the Burgermaster stuff.
Yeah.
Don't want to carry around the book everywhere.
What's Blinsky doing? Is Blinsky in his shop? Is Blinsky gone?
There doesn't appear to be anybody
Plus
on the
one
square.
to AC and saving throws. That's a nice little.
So someone write
Plus
the book.
1 to AC and saving.
Someone write the book in the journal.
That's a nice.
I will
That's
drop
extra bonus.
in fact, I'll do it while we're here. I will drop the book into the chat.
Yeah, and somebody wrote. add it
Would
to
that
their
ring
list
of
of
protection
items.
work on my wild shapes?
It works during them, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see any reason why it wouldn't.
Ooh.
What's the book?
But actually hanging on for the moment, we can discuss it from the other side.
Okay.
Plus 1 to yeah, but on top of like whatever.
Well, no, so it's because they're currently really low, so the big wild shapes my AC goes from 15 to like 12. So plus 1 is helpful. Although, you know, if anyone has an 18 to a 19 is a pretty big set. It might be better on the 5.
Okay, so you head up. So you are walking up the hill with Vasily von Holtz up to the hill, and you guys are sort of following up in relatively short order. I don't think that took more than really a couple of minutes in terms of being in and out. You can see them in the distance as they're engaged in conversation walking up the hill. As you approach the Burgermasters, the guards have formed like a cordon, a sort of armed cordon with pikes and around the edge of the Burgermaster's house, and you see, and everybody's there, and you can hear lots of whispers in the crowd. What the what's happening? There's a festival in 2 days. This is very unusual. This does not look. And you can hear people openly sort of saying things like, "It doesn't look like all's very well here." In a sort of, we all knew there was something.
Priest and the Burgermaster's wife.
You don't see either Father Lucian or
You should have checked what was going on with her first when I think about it.
Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see either of
She
them.
know much about it, and I was asked those things.
She knows we got
And as you're approaching, and you can hear all this big crowd of what's going on, what's it? You see at the top of at the front, sort of opening on the front door,
Feel the strata.
you see this huge, tall man with this sort of shock of sort of dirty, dirty blonde hair, and this, in a black sort of plate mail with what looks to be this really sort of abnormal sort of arm standing at the top, and you would guess that this is probably Isaac Strasny, based on the fact that he appears to be right at the top, and standing next to him is Lydia.
We're all fucked. Can I go 120 feet of them? Is that possible at all? Or are they not keeping us away?
You are outside of 120 feet, so there's a cordon of guards around the bottom of their houses up on this hill, and there's a cordon of guards, and then there's almost the whole of Malachi as a crowd, and you're on the back of that crowd.
Cool. That's so sweet.
And
Yes.
so
We will take them.
you're stood at the back of this huge crowd
The head of the guard is with the Burgermaster's wife.
at the Burgermaster's house, and Isaac stands there, and he doesn't say anything, just stands there, and Lydia, in a sort of quiet voice, goes, "The Burgomaster, my husband, Vargas, appears to have disappeared from Valachi. It is unclear as yet what has become of him.
Did
The house
last thing to be left of his family-
Appears to have been the house appears to have been ransacked. Our son Victor is also missing. Isaac and the guard will be conducting a full investigation, and the Festival of the Blazing Sun will be going ahead as planned in 2 days' time, as he would want. All remains well, and I will continue my husband's legacy of protecting this town. And there's this sort of ripple of disquiet and anxiety.
How he feels about this?
Over Vasily, yeah?
That is a real disappointing.
I'm going to do
Not
the
paying
same.
him. There's only so many critical fails.
I've got great insight modifier, but not a good roll. 14. Unless I can guide myself.
So Vasily seems to be just watching with detached interest, and every now and again you notice him sort of glancing across at Malachi with that sort of, he massively passed his perception check on your deception. So this sort of...
Not a good one.
So
All the best.
it would appear that they knew that this was on. Not quite sure what's happening here. Not sure what's happening here.
Because she knows what's
Holding-
happening, so there's no
Holding
further
her.
intent. If she wanted us caught and done for, they'd concerned
Yeah,
that we would already be
100%.
dead. I imagine she's just using this to seize power.
100%.
I'm still
She
hesitant.
legit asked for it.
So you can hear this sort of rumbling discontent in the crowd.
Probably did.
And as you hear this rumbling discontent
Roughly so.
in the crowd, you see Isaac raise his hand. And this sort of withered, abnormal hand just raises his hand, and his hand catches fire.
Oh,
Really?
And he just stands there, and the crowd sort of hushes.
I'm silly.
And he goes,
no, this is the
"We will
dark
support the Velakovich family as we have always supported them. I trust that you will give us your full cooperation during our investigations." And the crowd sort of stills into this really uncomfortable silence, and Lydia goes, "All is well." And all the guards chant, "All is well" in Valachian, and then all the
With
sort of
thaumaturgy, I'm going to go,
townspeople,
all is well! Really loudly.
all of the townspeople start to go, "Yeah, all is well, all is well."
We will also join in the all as well, just to try and not draw attention to it.
All is.
All as well.
It's all not well. Okay.
For 2 days.
And it's 9:45, so I am going to leave you there.
Terrifying.
So,
Well,
Very
then, that
much.
was
you know what's gonna happen
That was
next?
an eventful.
So, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that happened. So far tonight, we've murdered a child.